In this video, we will be installing a KINGGERI roof rack crossbar kit in this 2019 Jeep Compass. To begin this process, we are first going to open up the box and see what parts were included. And inside we have our front crossbar, which is a little bit longer than the rear crossbar, which is the shorter one. We then have 2 left feet and 2 right feet, our packet of hardware, and of course the instructions. And as I am unpackaging this, the first thing I noticed is that these components are much heavier duty than I originally anticipated. There is a substantial amount of weight to these feet components of our bracket. For this installation, we will be using 4 sponge pads, 8 M6 bolts with washers and gaskets, and we will be using our hex head wrenches. Also included in this kit are some additional spare parts. And I do want to take a quick look at our 2 crossbars. If we look at the crossbars from an end view, you will notice that there is a bigger, rounder side and then a narrower, pointier side. We just want to keep this in mind because when we install this, the bigger, rounder side needs to go towards the front of the vehicle. And these crossbar pieces are also labeled with a sticker identifying the front of the vehicle. And to reduce any confusion, as I install this on the vehicle, I am going to lay this out on my workbench in the orientation that all of these pieces would go on the vehicle. And with those laid out, the front of my vehicle is facing forward. I have my 2 left shoes on the left, which would be the driver's side. I have my 2 right shoes on the right, which is the passenger side. I have my front crossbar and my rear crossbar, and I have double checked that profile of that crossbar and confirmed that with the sticker on the back side. At this point, we can begin assembly of those crossbars. We can go ahead and flip both of those over, and we'll remove those 2 hex head fasteners, slip that first shoe into place, and reinstall those fasteners with the washers. I'm going to keep this just a little bit loose, just in case I need to adjust this in or out when I install it on the vehicle. And we'll follow that same procedure for the other side of that first crossbar. And again, I have left that just a little bit loose. And I can then build my next one, completing both those sides using the exact same method that we did for the first one. And it is worth noting on the underside of these, we also have an indicator arrow labeled front, as well as an R for the right side and an L for the left side. We can then install our first sponge pad. It is worth noting that this is not perfect in shape. We do have a little bumped out portion that we need to consider. And that does follow the contour of our shoe. And we can use that hex head wrench to pop out those center locations. And there are 4 of these total. However, they did include 1 extra one just in case you accidentally mess one of them up. If we take a look at the roof of the vehicle, we do have 2 rails that run the length of the vehicle. We're going to be focusing our attention on the inside edge of those rails. Towards the front of the vehicle, we have 2 small plastic round caps, and toward the back of the vehicle, there are 4 plastic round caps. And if we use a small standard head screwdriver, we can work those caps out. After that, we have washer and gasket, and I have positioned that so the protrusion or that nub on it will go into my crossbar component. And then we can loosely install that fastener assembly through our crossbar shoe. And a couple tips. Number one, make sure the hex head wrench does not scratch the roof of the vehicle. And secondly, if you gently wiggle around that crossbar foot, it can sometimes help you install that fastener a little bit easier. And with that first side done, we can move on to the second side. And with both those feet installed, I am going to come back and tighten down those fasteners underneath the shoes, holding on that cross member. And you should be able to shake that cross member, and it should be pretty rock solid to the point where it's probably shaking the whole car. And with the front installed and secure, we can move on to the rear. With the rear, we actually have two different locations. For this vehicle, I'm going to put this the furthest back. But out of curiosity, we'll take a look at what it looks like in both locations. So here we have our location closer towards the front and our location further back. And installation of this rear crossbar is done following the same procedures that we used for installation of the front crossbar. And don't forget to take those stickers off. And with everything secure, this install is complete.